I just got this new Bluetti AC50S, and it came in 80% full, but what I'm doing right now is testing it to see if I can top it off with the rooftop solar panel. It's kind of slightly overcast and the sun's at an angle, so right now it's showing from the rooftop panel I'm only getting about 6 watts, so that'll probably take a while to fill up. Once these clouds break, it'll probably increase a little bit, and also the angle, not able to direct that since it's mounted permanently, so we'll see. But it's been going between 6 and 7 watts, so I'll give you an update later. It's 10:12 now, so we'll see how long it takes to top off that 20 other percent. Well, it's been 15 minutes. The sun's a little bit higher up in the sky, and it's getting up around 20 to 21, just at 23 watts as 24. The clouds are starting to break up a little bit. So it's been about 45 minutes now. It's hitting on about 22 watts now. I have seen when there was a bit of a break in the clouds and as the sun's getting higher, it had gotten up as high as 32 watts. So it's performing pretty well under the conditions. You can see right now I've got, just testing it out, my that's a gas leak sensor that I have for the propane, and it's barely even draws an amp, so it's not showing that it's taking anything off the battery. That very low power. But as you can see, I'm gonna point it right at the sun, but you see that band of clouds has been kind of shrouding the sun. So, and with the angle to get that 25 to 30 watts right now, it's not bad. I would like to see what it does whenever those clouds finally break through, and see what the max I can get out of this 100-watt panel is. It's been about an hour and 15 minutes now. You're sitting on 30 watts, 31 watts. From the looks of the sky, there's not going to be any breaks in the clouds anytime soon, so not going to see much more than that. There was one break right as I came out here to check on it, and it had gotten up to about 61 watts, which was pretty good. Well, I finished getting it loaded. As you can see, it's at 100% battery capacity. It took about 2.5 hours, and with the amount of cloud cover and angle of the sun today, that was acceptable amount for getting this thing charged up. So now to give it a test for what its real purpose is for the van is to see if I can keep that refrigerator going for an extended period of time in between recharges. So, but that's be for another video. I'll probably plug it in tomorrow morning and see if it lasts all day. Okay, time to test out the refrigerator and see how long this Bluetti power system will keep it going. Right now, showing 65 degrees. I've got it set to go down to 38, so we'll see how long that takes. The compressor is running, and it's showing, can you see that? It's drawing 25 watts with the compressor running, so that's really good. I was expecting it to be a bit more of a draw. So estimated time at 25 watts would probably be around 14-15 hours, and if so, that'll be terrific. So, but we'll check in later. Update on the refrigerator battery usage test. It's been right at 6 hours now. Refrigerator's sitting on 39. Compressor's running, you might be able to hear that. And looks like the maximum draw when the compressor's running is 30 watts. I've never seen it any higher than that. And you can see after 6 hours it's still showing I have about 80% battery capacity, because whenever this compressor shuts off, then it draws 0 watts. So it's looking like this thing is going to more than exceed the expectations that I had for it. So we'll update that a little later. Okay, it's been exactly 12 hours since I hooked up the refrigerator to the new Bluetti 500 watt, and I'm still at about 80% capacity, not drawing any watts with the refrigerator or compressor not running. It has an eco mode, so it's very efficient. Once it took about 30 minutes when I plugged it in for it to get down from 65 into the 30s, and it's pretty well insulated, so it's very efficient. And at this rate, I think now, I was wondering, because estimates from what I was seeing for powering these type fridges, it said maybe 12 hours. I was thinking maybe 14, but with the compressor not having to come on very often and how much it's drawing, and at 30 watts was the most I saw, and that's less than what they said most of these refrigerators drew. So it's looking like I can probably run this thing for a good 48 hours without having any charge at all. And with, as I demonstrated yesterday, with a cloudy day, I was able to charge the battery from 80 to 100% in about 2.5 hours. So I don't see ever running this battery down unless I go to Seattle and spend a week without having any access to any way to charge it. So I'm very pleased with what I'm seeing with this unit, and it looks like it's going to serve my needs quite well in the Ultraman's adventure van. So we'll put it to the real test here before too long out on the road. So I took this on the trip up to West Virginia last weekend, mainly to power the refrigerator, and it did a fine job. And after 2 days, only used about half of the battery power, so it's working like it's supposed to. But the problem was, this is the cord that came with the refrigerator. It's kind of odd for a cigarette lighter, and as you can see, when you put it in there, it wants to wiggle around, and you can't push it in deep. It pops out a little bit. So that was unacceptable. I was able to plug this into an extension, and the extension worked a little better, but still not ideal. So I knew that I had bought the plug like this and had wired it directly into the switches to use for the other battery unit that I have for the lights, water pump, etc., like in the other video. So I tested it, and yeah, it does definitely work better. And as you can see, if I can get a little bit of leverage here, it plugs in perfectly, very tight, no wiggle. And so what I'm going to do is cut this one off and splice this one on. I'll let you know how that goes. And what I used to do the wires, I've already stripped them here with my nice little wire strippers. And to join them, I've used these heat shrink adapters here that you just plug the wire into it, and then you use your crimpers here to clamp it down. And after you get it clamped down, you take the heat gun, and these things shrink around the wire and seal the connection, keep it waterproof, and hold it tight. And simple, very quick operation, only takes a couple of minutes. Excuse the poor lighting over here, but as you can see, I've got the connections all taken care of. And I'll plug this into here, and nice snug fit. Turn the power on, start up the DC. You hear the beep on the refrigerator. Refrigerator is now on, and hear the compressor kick in, and success. Now you can wiggle it, doesn't want to come loose, so riding down the road it won't keep coming undone. Problem solved. Yay.